All right, welcome everyone. Feel free to put your name and access ID in the chat if you would like. And we will get started. I want to welcome everyone to a new fall term, fall 24. And we're going to have focus on, refreshing our knowledge on the critical support services that we refer students to. So we're going to kind of slowly work our way through some of the key ones over the next few months. And we're going to start with academic support services. So this is a really important one, right? And we do refer so many students to these services. So I'm going to turn things over to Christine Huang. Thank you so much. And I will watch the chat for any questions, and I'm sure we'll have lots of questions throughout and at the end as well. So.
Thank you very much, Kate. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the time and thank you for joining us for this hour. I am Christine Huang. For those that I have not yet had the opportunity to meet, I am the Associate Director for Learning Support Services. I'm going to share with you some updates about the learning support services since the last update. And I'm going to also introduce you to my team. That you may be reaching out if you have any questions. So you probably have heard of Courtney Mansell. She was a student at Wayne State some time ago, and now she is back as a full-time staff, and she's into her second year as a tutoring operations coordinator. She oversees all of our tutoring appointments as well as study skills coaching and the course study groups. I will talk about each of the services in more detail after I introduce the team. And then we are very grateful to have Shayna Jensen, fairly new to our team. She started with us back in April, just before the end of the fall. The winter semester, April 15th was her first day with us. She is overseeing the supplemental instruction program, and she is our SI supervisor, and she also engaged in outreach and getting students more involved with our learning support services. You see our handle on Instagram. Actually, we just launched our TikTok last Friday. If you're on TikTok, the same handle, wsu.asc for our TikTok. And then this is our website if you need to look into any of our services and to contact us, look into the profiles of the team. And we have a very small team right now. And hopefully over time, we will expand and collaborate with additional stakeholders across campus in colleges and departments. We do have some partners, which I will talk about in a little bit. And if there are any questions or areas that you are supporting that doesn't have support from our end, we are excited to partner with you. So just to give you a little visual of the support services and how they support students, we take a holistic approach from a one-on-one appointment basis to a request basis in addition to a schedule basis. For students who cannot attend any of the sessions on a schedule basis, they can schedule an individual appointment or they can submit a request for study groups. So typically, a combination of the support services will be most helpful. We do highly encourage students to not only schedule appointments, but if there are supplemental instruction sessions available for their courses, attending those supplemental instruction sessions can be helpful as well. The first three columns, individual tutoring, course study groups, and supplemental instruction, are content specific. And the last one, study skills coaching, is not content specific, but more about helping students developing those effective learning strategies and study skills and many of those life management skills so students can be most effective and efficient in their learning journey. And I'll go into each of the services in more detail. So like I said, the first three columns consist of the course tutoring, supplemental instruction, and course study groups. Those are content specific. The Academic Success Center has been charged to support the general education requirement courses primarily. So our one-on-one tutoring focus primarily on those general education requirement courses. If you wonder like why isn't this course has tutoring available, and that's one of the reasons. And you may see some departmental specific courses available for tutoring, and that's because they are our partners. We do collaborate with departments and colleges to support some of the discipline-specific courses, such as College of Nursing. And you may see many of the nursing courses have tutoring available. That's because the College of Nursing has invested in their students by funding 5 tutors for all of the or most of the nursing courses, including some of the pre-nursing courses, supporting their first year direct admit students or students admitted to the College of Nursing from high school. So that's what tutoring is about. Tutoring by appointment, we have hours 7 days a week. We are not on a traditional Monday to Friday schedule. So students typically have classes during the day, or they may have work. So we take those into consideration to make sure that we are meeting students where they are at. So you can find appointments anytime from a Monday to a Sunday. Our hours are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. After researching the different hours from different institutions similar to our institution, we find that those hours seem to be conducive for our students. 9 a.m. appointments are typically online, as we know that in-person appointments for 9 o'clock had the highest no-show rate. So we do have in-person and online appointments available. Our online appointments are through Microsoft Teams. It's actually built into our appointment system that students receive a Microsoft Teams link for the appointment at the time that they get their appointment confirmation. So it's built into the appointment system, so students don't have to wait to get an online link. If anytime that students cannot or have difficulty finding an appointment, I wanted to encourage you to suggest that students reach out to the tutoring operation coordinator, Courtney Mansell. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of introduce them early on, so you can keep their names in mind and you can refer your students to the appropriate staff so they can get the help. Evening appointments are typically online as well. We suggest our tutors anytime between 6 to 9. Those appointments are most likely online, and we may have a few tutors in person because they are on campus. But appointments are widely available. We kicked off tutoring last Wednesday. We probably had about 50 appointments already as of Sunday. So students are scheduling appointments and students are anxious. So we recognize that, and we are probably the first tutoring office that offers tutoring in the first week. Some of our colleagues in other departments, they are opening tutoring this week. Any questions on course tutoring? Anything in the chat, Kate?
No.
Okay. All right. If you do think of any, we'll have time toward the end for more questions. So think about course tutoring is accommodating individual student needs. The next service I'm going to talk about is the supplemental instruction, which is embedded into high enrollment courses that meet general education requirements. These are led by a trained neo-peer who are students have taken the course previously and done well, and they recommended to us by faculty and we provide full training for these students to offer collaborative review sessions after each lecture. So these students we call SI leaders. SI leaders do attend lecture similar to some courses that may have learning assistants. So they do attend lecture to keep up with the lecture as well as plan for their SI sessions. During the lecture, they are actually planning for the SI sessions based on the professor's lecture, on materials that the professor may have reiterated, examples, questions from students. They take note of all that and take that into consideration when they are planning for the SI sessions, so they can review those difficult concepts and also take the students' questions into consideration, and then they can reiterate those questions for any students who may need additional clarifications on those concepts that students had more questions. And these SI sessions are on a schedule basis, and we also launched SI sessions last Wednesday, and the SI sessions takes place in the classrooms. Mostly this semester, just due to room availability, most of the SI sessions are in Manukian, and you can find our SI session schedule on our website. And that is actually the most updated place for SI session schedules. We try to keep a very consistent schedule, but sometimes we do have to make some changes due to some sessions that may not be well attended. So in order to accommodate most students, we do make changes during the semester, but not drastically. Typically, at least a few of the sessions are pretty consistent. For example, we typically offer sessions when students are on campus or when the lecture meets. So if a lecture meets Tuesday and Thursday, likely that's at least one session during the days when lecture meets. Any questions on supplemental instruction or SI? And I want to note, during supplemental instruction sessions, students may not get the individual needs met, and therefore it's most important that students do take consideration to schedule individual appointments or request for their own study group if they need additional time outside of SI sessions, because it is not that one-stop shop where students will get all the answers to their questions or get all their studying done. But attending supplemental instruction on a weekly basis do typically do yield a better grade. Our data, about 10 years of data from my time, it has indicated consistently that students who attend supplemental instructions do earn half to a full letter grade better than the class average. So SI is on a schedule basis, course tutoring is on an appointment basis. So what if students cannot attend SI sessions due to schedule conflict? As much as we try to be creative and trying to offer sessions at the most optimal time for students, inevitably there's going to be conflicts. We understand and we take that into consideration when planning our services, and therefore we offer course study groups. If students they like to have those weekly group meetings, but they cannot attend SI due to the schedule conflict, and or they don't want to schedule a one-on-one appointment because they don't want to have that undivided attention on them, students can request for that course study group. This is for students to submit a request with a minimum of 3 students, and then we will assign a tutor to facilitate those study groups. And you may wonder, like, well, what if students don't have 2 additional students? They're welcome to reach out if they're interested to be in a study group. And if they don't have two additional students, or if we don't have a group for that course, we will coach the student on how to find students. And one of our goals is to foster independence in students. So we will coach the student to talk with students in the class, or speak with the faculty about the interest in forming a study group, and the faculty can make the announcement on behalf of the student. And then other students who are interested can get in touch with this student. Or a professor can create an interest form for students, and they can sign up, and then we will get that request form, and then get those groups set up. So we work with faculty in setting up study groups, as well as taking requests from students.
Christine?
And this course study group is on a request basis. It's also a way for us to hold students accountable, because they are the one that wants to have this study group. And we also try to meet them at where they meet students where they are at, because they provide the time and the location. These study groups can be online or in person.
We have a question in the chat, and then I was curious, have you done research on these course study groups to see if their grades are on average higher than the class average?
Yes, I don't have the 10 years of data, because the study group is not as long as the other two programs. But students who participate in study groups do earn a better grade than students who are not in study groups, or students who did not participate in SI or study groups.
Got it. Michelle asks, she remembers when art history 1000 level courses, so lower level art history, did have an opportunity to take part in supplemental instruction. And what steps would the department take to start up SI for the art history 1000 level?
Thank you for the question. We can definitely be partners. So if the art history department would like to offer supplemental instruction, but we can also talk about other options. If supplemental instruction is the most effective, or is that the best option, or is it the core study groups, or another option that we are going to roll out more. We have been piloting in the past. We call learning while leading, which is a another support where we utilize a current student in the class who is doing well, and then we pay the student for the study groups outside of class. And that is actually very cost effective. The I guess like the downside for that learning while leading is that the support will not in place at the first week of classes. Typically, faculty will need like a week or two, or if they don't know the students, to identify such a student. But supplemental instruction is intended to support large enrollment courses. So if we're the last I remember, art history classes have been much smaller than what it used to be. So we can definitely talk, Michelle. Please send me an email, and I would love to set up a consultation meeting.
And then are these services for undergrad students only? Jessica's from the pharmacy school.
Yes, currently all of this are from for undergraduate. But can any of this be expanded to the graduate courses? Absolutely. Any other questions on any of these three supports? So these three support accommodate students in different ways, and we hope that we are offering the options that meet our students. If you have any other feedback from students, or if you think of any other services that we can offer on our end, we are happy to work with you. Okay. Oh, just to share with you who are some of our partners so far. We have the College of Nursing, like I mentioned earlier. We have computer science. We have electrical and computer engineering from the College of Engineering, as well as the early engineering program that supports some or most of the basic engineering courses, those BE courses. Am I missing anyone? And that's what we have so far. So moving on to the next service, which is not content specific. This is to help students become more efficient and effective. You may have worked with students, or students may have come to you about studying like for hours, but they didn't do as well as they expected in the test, or students are overwhelmed with amount of work and the number of classes and everything else. So in our study skills coaching appointment, again, this is by appointment. They will work with a study skills coach to explore their current study habits and their current time management skills, or how they are allocating their time and how they are studying. And then our skills coach will make suggestions on how a student can modify their studying, and so they can be more effective. And this service is also available 7 days a week, and this actually use the same scheduling system as the tutoring. So under subjects, students just have to scroll to S for study skills, so they can schedule an appointment for study skills coaching. We also have a direct URL where students can click on the URL that takes them directly to the study skills coaching interface, so they don't have to select all those fields before they can get to an appointment. Our appointment system is very user-friendly. It's literally like 3 steps because there are at least 2 other offices using the same appointment system. So students do have to select an office or a department. So we're under the Academic Success Center, and then students select a subject, and then the course number, and then the available appointments will populate. And please keep in mind that our appointments are only available 7 days in advance. So students cannot schedule appointments more than 7 days. And students can schedule an appointment, 1 appointment per course per day. So a student can schedule an appointment every day if they wish to, and we do have students that schedule appointments every day. But we do ask that students make use of the full hour when they schedule an appointment. If a student has a quick question, I would not suggest a student schedule a tutoring appointment. And those are questions that I would recommend a student go to any of the drop-in services if they are, or go to the professor's office hour, so they don't take up a tutoring appointment for just like 1 question. So we encourage you advisors, as you talk to students, to encourage students to utilize the tutoring appointment for what it is, not necessarily a Q&A appointment. We do want to encourage students to utilize the professor's office hours or other drop-in hours if possible. For example, in many of the bio classes, where we also have tutoring appointments available, they may have learning assistants drop-in hours in the STEM Commons, and we do refer students. We typically, between this week and next week, that's when those drop-in hours will become available. We collect those hours, and we refer students if students contact us about same-day appointments, which we do not offer same-day appointments, but we will refer them to any of the drop-in services and their hours for students who need same-day appointments. Any questions on study skills coaching?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay. Study skills coaching is not available for graduate students. is only for undergraduate students. Part of the reason our study skills coach, they are undergraduate students, so they have not yet experienced the graduate student life, and therefore they may not be able to support graduate students. And also currently we only have 3 study skills coach on board. So we are getting a lot of study skills coaching appointment, especially in the first week. Okay, so as advisors, you may have questions on how do students know tutoring is available for their classes, right? I updated this in the last time I was here with the ATA drop-in hours. And if you are new, this is good information. Canvas is really like the place for students to know where tutoring is available. It's actually built into their Canvas. If they are in a course with tutoring available, there's a tutoring tab on the left-hand side menu when they get into their course where I have the star and I circled. That tutoring tab is only available in the course with tutoring available. What you says, and then for this screenshot in particular, there's no available appointment. Where it says N/A over here, not that there's no tutoring available, there's no tutoring appointment available within 7 days. When a student click into this tutoring tab, if they are tutoring available, they will be taken directly to the appointment system with the listing of the available appointments, and then students can just select the time and the day that works for them, and then that confirms the appointment. We're trying to make this process as streamlined as possible with no more than 3 clicks. So if a student click into the tutoring that has available appointments, then they'll be taken to the next screen where they will see the available appointments, and then they pick the time that works for them, and then they finalize to confirm the appointment. And then students get a confirmation. If it's online, in that confirmation email, they also get the link for the online appointment. If there's no tutoring appointment available, like the screen indicated here, students will be taken to a notification page where students can sign up for notifications when an available appointment shows up. So this can happen because some students who already scheduled the appointment, they may cancel, and students can cancel anytime within with more than 12 hours to the appointment. Students don't get penalty on that. However, students do get a penalty if they cancel the appointments in less than 12 hours or they don't show up to the appointment. Our goal is not to deter students from scheduling appointments. Our goal is to flag students who are consistently missing appointments. And sometimes that can be an issue that if they're missing tutoring appointments, they may be missing advising appointments or they're missing class. So that triggers my staff to reach out to the student to find out what is happening, why what's the reason that you have been like missing like 2 tutoring appointments and no show, no call. But if a student does call on the day of the appointment due to extenuating circumstances, we can cancel the appointment on our end with no penalty. So we understand that extenuating circumstances happened, but we do want students to communicate with us so we can take care of the appointment and always schedule an appointment for them. So that is probably, I want to say probably the best way or the most prevalent way that students find out when there's tutoring available for any of their courses. Additionally, students can go directly to our URL, tutoring.wayne.edu, and then they'll just sign in with their credentials, just like they sign in into the email. And professors also see when there's tutoring available for their course as well. So this screenshot is actually sent to me by a professor when he sees that tutoring is available, but there's no tutoring appointment at the time because we didn't have the available hours for that tutor at the time. So please encourage your students to schedule appointments that works for them or sign up for notifications if if we don't have an available appointment when they are trying to schedule an appointment. If they attempted to schedule an appointment and still no luck or no success, please encourage your students to reach out to the tutoring operation coordinator, Courtney, and typically we can get the first appointment in for the student if they're not able to, because we can schedule more than 7 days in advance. And once we get the first appointment in, students typically know how to get the appointments because students know that they need to plan ahead, and then they will plan accordingly. For example, if a student needs another appointment after the end of the first tutoring session, and then they know that like, okay, at the end of that day, the available appointments for next week will open up, so they can be the first ones to secure an appointment. So it's literally 7 like calendar days because we are available 7 days a week. And for SI, it's even better. So SI sessions are actually integrated into the Canvas calendar. So this is a screenshot of a Canvas calendar. So just like many of the to-dos from Canvas for the different courses, is it actually appears in the Canvas calendar. SI is also integrated in their to-do on Canvas. And my next screen shows you. So if a session happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think this was just an example. It will show you the time of the session. And then if it's an online session, it actually embeds the online link for the students. The next link shows you. So if students click into that SI session that's in the that's actually in the calendar, it will bring up this box. And if it's an online session, a student can simply click here to join because the online our recurring Zoom link is built into our tracking system, and the student can join online. If it is a in-person session, the location will be listed. It can be like Manukian and the room number, so students know where to go for those supplemental sessions. We are not sure if students are actually using their Canvas calendars and if that's how they know about SI sessions, but SI leaders actually attend lecture with students. They do make periodic announcements during lecture to promote the SI sessions. So far, SI leaders should have had at least 2 announcements in lecture in the first week, and then when they had their room assignments for SI sessions. In addition to that, our SI leaders also send weekly reminders to the entire class about SI sessions, enticing students to attend SI sessions. So some SI leaders are more proactive. Some SI leaders would even start their own WhatsApp app to communicate with students. But we do encourage any communication to any groups of students is also shared onto the entire class, and therefore they would use Canvas messages to send the same communication to the entire class.
Denise, did you get that question answered? About what SI sessions typically look like?
Did I miss something? I'm just wondering, like, if it's kind of like a free fall where students come and ask questions about what the lecture, you know, what was in the lecture, or if the SI instructor reviews the lecture material.
Thank you for that, Denise. I'll elaborate a little bit more. So in SI sessions, it's not it's not necessarily a free fall, and we don't want it to turn into a Q&A session because typically SI leaders would have a plan. This plan is developed by the SI leader and or in collaboration with the faculty. When SI leader attends lecture, they actually planning for the SI sessions on difficult concepts that was covered in lecture and or recommendations from faculty on certain concepts that they deem difficult for students based on their teaching experience. And or the plan could be based on the questions that students ask during lecture. So they make note of that and they will bring those concepts to SI session to offer any clarifications, to offer additional examples to make sure that students are fully grasping those difficult concepts. Can students get their questions answers? Yes and no, depending on what those questions are. If the questions pertain to the concepts covered or the SI leader has planned, yes, those questions will definitely get answered. If it's questions outside of the plan, they may get those questions answered. If not, that's when we suggest the students schedule an individual appointment or visit the professor's office hours. During the SI sessions, we do try to focus our primary goal is the group of students, majority of the students, not necessarily those individual needs. And that's one of the reasons we recommend students use a combination of the services. Does that answer your question, Denise?
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other questions? Let me go back. We talked about how students, okay. So this Canvas calendar is really our effort to streamline our outreach to students. And most definitely faculty members are our greatest advocate, and they are our liaison to the students. And of course, they make periodic announcements and or throughout their lecture, sometimes they may even mention that, okay, this is maybe tricky, make sure that you attend SI sessions. And I have seen that in lecture. For advisors, you may wonder, well, how do I know if my students utilize tutoring or SI? I recommended them. I highly suggested that they attend tutoring sessions or SI sessions. The last time I was here with ATA, and that was a newly launched effort by that our services are integrated into STARS as part of the activity log. You can see if your students have attended tutoring. This is a screenshot of a student and the available, you can filter based on the activity of your students. And you can see that they are advising appointments. You can see any drop-in. Students attended supplemental, refers to supplemental instruction. Tutoring refers to tutoring appointments. The course study group, I am not sure how it's coming up on the activity log. I need to get a bit more clarification because that's a newer service, and the tracker that we are using to log attendance is the same tracking system as supplemental instruction, but it should be coming up separately as a course study group. So I need some clarification if it's part of supplemental or is going to be listed separately. But this is how you can find out if you are in an appointment with a student and you noted that in the last session or like mid-semester, you met with a student and you refer a student to tutoring, and then you have a follow-up appointment. And if you want to know if the student has attended any of the tutoring, you can see all the tutoring record under activity log by choosing tutoring, and it will show the number of tutoring appointments. And you can actually click into the appointment to see if those appointments are completed or no-show. If the student was a no-show, that may be a conversation. That may be a conversation to have with the student, like what's happening. Just because there's a number doesn't mean that a student has attended tutoring. And once you click into the activity or the tutoring appointment, it will show you the status. For supplemental instruction, because it's on a schedule basis, so all students who had supplemental instruction records, they have attended supplemental instruction. We only log student attendance for students who participated in supplemental instruction. And we hope that this is helpful. This is a few years new. Any comments or what has your experience been using this activity log?
I think it's great that, and that filter allows you to go right to the information. You don't have to scroll and scroll. So I love this, that it's been added here, and also, it's not on here. This is a separate thing, but we also have orientation information, which I think just for advisors that are here, you can also go right to the orientation information. So I love this part of the activity log and the filter.
I do.
Yeah, so.
Oh, also, because study skills coaching is using the same appointment system as tutoring, study skills coaching can also be, actually, it's not also, it is. Study skills coaching appointments are listed under tutoring. So if you are curious if your student had study skills coaching appointment because that was the conversation in your last session, you can actually check if there is any like tutoring appointment. And when you click into the tutoring appointment, it indicates the subject. The subject will be study skills coaching instead of bio 1050, for example. And that indicates that the student had a study skills coaching appointment. And that is how study skills coaching is showing up. That comes to the end of my presentation, and I'm happy to take any questions if you are curious and interested to work with us on those departmental initiative to bring learning support to any of those major specific courses. I'm happy to chat.
Any other questions for Christine?
This was great. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Was it Michelle from pharmacy? I'm making note.
Jessica.
Jessica.
Jessica from pharmacy. I'm making note. Please send me an email. I'm happy to schedule a meeting to talk about like options for support.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Christine. This was wonderful. And I know people know how to reach you. So if they do have follow-up questions, they can get in touch. But I think this was great to show us what like, students see in Canvas, and also then what we can look for in the STARS profile to do follow-up with the students. So
Yes, Canvas is really kind of like the place where students learn about tutoring. When we launched that feature, students start scheduling appointments before we even like did any like publication about that feature. And it's just like happening because when we looked into the analytics, and that's where students were clicking it from.
Wow, that's great to know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop the recording and appreciate everybody who joined.